It always starts the same way, quietly, invisibly. A child walks into a room and instantly knows the temperature of everyone's emotions, not because they're gifted, but because they have to be. Maybe the parent is drowning in addiction, maybe they're angry, unpredictable, or emotionally absent. Maybe it's just the kind of silence that feels like a storm waiting to happen. And in that moment, something inside the child shifts. An ancient, primal switch flips. A tiny voice whispers, "If I don't hold everything together, everything will fall apart." This is how a child grows up too fast. Not through age, but through responsibility they were never meant to carry. Kids who grow up too fast don't disappear physically, they disappear emotionally. They become small adults in tiny bodies, laugh quieter, cry softer, speak only when it's safe. They start reading the room before they read their homework. They become the peacekeeper, the caretaker, the emotional shield, and the world claps for them. You're so mature, you're so responsible, you're so strong. But nobody ever asks, at what cost? This is the invisible grief of children who were parented by chaos. Psychologists call this phenomenon parentification. When the child becomes the parent, they're the therapist, the mediator, the protector, the emotional sponge. This doesn't just affect behavior, it rewires the brain. Their nervous system learns hypervigilance. They scan the world for danger like a soldier in a war zone. Every sound, every mood, every shift in tone becomes a warning sign. They learn that love is conditional. You earn safety by being useful. You earn approval by staying quiet. Their needs, they learn to hide those, because needs create conflict, and conflict creates chaos. And chaos is deadly, so they disappear, leaving behind a version of themselves that performs, behaves, and survives. The tragedy is this: the child grows up, but the survival patterns stay. As adults, these once children feel unsafe in rooms that are calm. Stillness feels wrong. Peace feels suspicious. Love feels like something they'll eventually have to repay. They become hyper-independent, refusing help, refusing comfort, refusing softness. They apologize for crying, flinch at kindness, feel guilty for resting. They work until they break because productivity is the only language they know for worth. They often become the therapist friend, the one everyone trusts, the one who holds others together, but they themselves have no one. They're praised for being strong, yet inside, they're exhausted, lonely, and secretly wishing someone would ask if they are okay, not the adult them, but the child they left behind. Deep inside, there's a voice that never got answered, the small voice that once whispered, "Why didn't anyone protect me? Why did I have to be strong? Why did I have to grow up before I was ready?" And that voice becomes the adult's anxiety, their trust issues, their perfectionism, their fear of being a burden. These aren't personality traits. They're coping mechanisms, learned, conditioned, hardwired, but also unlearnable. If understood, adults who grew up too fast often gaslight themselves. It wasn't that bad. Other people had it worse. I turned out fine. But fine is not real. Fine is a mask. Behind it is grief for birthdays no one showed up for tears no one noticed, for the innocence that died too early, protecting people who should have protected them. This is the shadow they carry, the shadow they pretend isn't there. Why would a child take on such a role? Because children will do anything, for attachment. To belong, to not be abandoned. To stay connected, even to broken parents. So they trade authenticity for safety, their emotions for stability, their childhood for survival. What saved them then is suffocating them now. Eventually, these adults hit a moment where the mask slips, where strength feels like a prison, where exhaustion feels like a permanent state of being. They long for someone to say, "You don't have to be strong today. You can rest. You're allowed to fall apart." But no one says it, no one ever has. So healing begins with the hardest truth. No one is coming to rescue that child inside you, but you can. Healing starts with witnessing, not fixing, not pretending. It's sitting with the inner child and saying, "You didn't deserve that. You were just a kid. I'm here now. You're safe." This is reparenting. It's not glamorous. It's not easy. It's slow. It's painful. But every tear you never cried, every need you suppressed, every fear you swallowed, all of it begins to thaw. This is the price of becoming whole again. Kids who grew up too fast inherit an adulthood filled with tension. Strong, but brittle, independent, but tired, loved, but unable to feel it, successful, but constantly afraid it will all collapse. But here's the truth, your maturity was never the problem. Your lack of choice was. Now, as an adult, you finally have a choice. You can choose rest. You can choose softness. You can choose to stop carrying everyone's emotions. You can choose to slow down. And when the child inside you finally feels safe, finally gets to laugh, cry, play, and be seen, that's not breaking. That's healing. That's you becoming whole. You never got a real childhood, but you still have a future. And this time, you get to grow up the right way. Not through trauma, not through pressure, but through truth.